The restoration of Sir Frederick Banting's birthplace, now known as the Banting Homestead Heritage Park, has created an accessible and unique Canadian diabetes management and education centre that is a tribute to the aspirations of Sir Frederick Banting. The driving force behind the restoration, Sir Frederick Banting Legacy Foundation, continues to honour his accomplishments through this restoration and the delivery of educational programs designed to fight diabetes, with an emphasis on youth. To achieve our goals, the Foundation first had to rescue, restore, and enhance the historic buildings and add new infrastructure to meet modern building codes to support public accessibility, all while maintaining historic accuracy to the extent practical. Many of the buildings on the site were approaching 100 years in age by 2008. The property and buildings had deteriorated significantly due to the passage of time and over a decade of neglect before the property was purchased by the town of New Tecumseth. During the restoration process, the historic hen house was assessed to be a public health hazard beyond redemption and was demolished. The cedar shake siding was recovered and inventoried for use as part of the Foundation's Banting Legacy Tribute, used for recognition awards and fundraising. Other structures, such as the woodshed at the back of the farmhouse and standalone garage, were dismantled to make room for a reception building. Demonstrating early and visible progress on the site was essential to overcome long-standing community concerns and frustrations. After a careful evaluation of the options, it was decided the historic octagonal drive shed was the best starting point to meet the community's expectations. An exact restoration was deemed impractical, but a close approximation that preserved the essential design and footprint, reused much of the original material, and that met modern-day building code requirements could be achieved. Launched in April 2010, the basic restoration was completed by August 2010. 5 months of creative effort by a very dedicated construction team led by George Vandermeer. The project was a joint effort funded largely by the Alliston Lions Club and the Rotary Club of Alliston, with some funds from the Sir Frederick Banting Legacy Foundation reserves. Thompson Banting built this unique brick octagonal drive shed in 1918, unique because farm implements could be driven in and out and parked against one of the 7 closed walls without the need to shift other implements. He obtained the original drive shed interior timbers from the base Bordenlands and the bricks from the demolition of a local Presbyterian church. By 2008, the drive shed was badly deteriorated due to the absence of a proper foundation. 90 years of wear and tear, including at least a decade of neglect, were contributing factors. The first step was to raise the roof, literally, in order to provide safe access to the deteriorating brick double walls, separated by an air gap and tied together with horizontal bricks. That step allowed the complete removal of the brick walls and, in turn, made it possible to lay a proper foundation that could withstand extreme weather conditions. Every brick counts. The rescue team spent many weeks cleaning old mortar from the rescued bricks. Bricks from a similar vintage octagonal shed, even more badly deteriorated on a nearby farm, were used to augment the inventory of rescued bricks. The resulting structure included a new cedar shake outer roof, original interior roof and ceiling rack timbers, new foundation, concrete floor, replaced double walls using original bricks, insulation in the air gap, and new outer sliding doors. The octagonal drive shed was formally opened to the public on September 11, 2010, by Jim Wilson, MPP Simcoe Grey, Helena Gurgis, MP Simcoe Grey, and senior representatives from Lions, Rotary, and Sir Frederick Banting Legacy Foundation. The first major public use of the restored structure occurred on Banting Day, November 14, 2011, when informative exhibits and free blood glucose tests were part of the day's events. Our foundation subsequently completed architectural and engineering drawings and secured a building permit for a technology-enabled classroom to be added to the main buildings, but we were unable to raise the required capital for construction. We opted for further adaptation of the drive shed as an affordable alternative. A series of upgrades to lighting and heating were done in 2013 to 2016, and a set of custom-made sealed doors were installed in 2017 behind the sliding doors to increase security and retain heat. Today, the drive shed serves as the main classroom for Sir Frederick Banting Legacy Foundation program delivery and can seat 60 students in theater style or 40 guests using round tables for catered meals. Technology support remains basic but practical. An engineered site plan was required to allow building restoration and site development to continue. That work was undertaken in late 2010 and included soil testing among many other aspects. The town installed a new parking lot and associated access lane as part of this process. A new flagpole and marker were installed on the north boundary by the Royal Canadian Legion Alliston branch during this time as well. The site plan review by the Town Building Department and the Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Authority continued into 2011 and led to their declaring the site to be on a 100-year floodplain. That added even more complexity and cost to the project, requiring, for example, that the farmhouse furnace and related HVAC equipment be suspended from the basement ceiling. Completion of the site plan also allowed new hydro and natural gas services to be added in 2011. Connection to the municipal sanitation system in 2013 completed the site infrastructure to support public access. The farmhouse restoration was a very demanding project, due in large part to the fact that changing the building designation from residential to commercial in order to allow public access resulted in the imposition of many new building code requirements. This, in turn, led to added interior design complexity as well as more elapsed time and costs. This existing farmhouse was built in 1925 by Thompson Banting, who dismantled the very large 7-bedroom 1891 farmhouse and reused much of the material. Farmhouse exterior preparation tasks included the complete excavation of the entire foundation and dismantling the front porch to reach the foundation section hidden below. The exterior construction tasks included sealing all joints in the entire stone foundation, as well as rebuilding the main porch columns, floor, ceiling, railings, and lattice. All windows on the 3 floors of the farmhouse were replaced. Farmhouse interior preparation tasks included the removal of woodwork trim, wall and ceiling coverings, floor coverings, electrical wiring and fixtures, and plumbing and HVAC infrastructure. The interior construction required double reinforcing of joists on all levels, a steel girder in the basement, new furnace, air conditioner, constant humidity, ductwork, and fire barriers. We also installed new insulation, electrical service and wiring, plumbing, security devices, and new walls and ceilings. Floors on all 3 levels were refinished, and the original woodwork trim was recovered by stripping, sanding, and restaining each piece. The farmhouse was officially opened to the public on Banting Day, November 2012. Since then, it has served as the central focus for school tours, group tours, and the general public, welcoming visitors of all ages from local communities across Canada and around the world. In order to provide a public venue, building codes require barrier-free access. To do that in the farmhouse would have destroyed the building profile and character. So we implemented a compromise that added a new structure connected to the farmhouse with an interior wheelchair ramp and barrier-free washrooms. This provided additional exhibit space and a controlled single point of access. Key code entry was extended to the building along with 24/7 security, fire alarm, and exterior video monitoring. The foundation pad was laid in late 2012. Following completion of the farmhouse, the framing for this new structure began, and the total project was completed in May 2013. Today, this building also serves as a classroom for small groups of 25 or less. The building was opened to the public officially on Banting Day, November 2013. Key to ensuring an informative venue for all visitors was the need to design and install exhibits. Temporary exhibits were assembled for the 2012 farmhouse opening, using loans from Banting family members and the museum on the Boyne. A large original oil painting by a friend of Frederick Banting and originally donated by him on the occasion of the opening of a new library in Alliston, was found and restored by the Tequigwill Women's Institute and donated as a permanent exhibit in the farmhouse. In 2013, we improved exhibits using digital images from the Insulan Archive, University of Toronto, some images custom designed by Sir Frederick Banting Legacy Foundation, and Banting artifacts held by the town library. These were added to the buildings for the opening of the new reception area. A large-scale welcome collage designed by our foundation and created by Alliston Signs was placed in the reception building as well. Local families and members of the public offered loans and gifts of Banting-related artifacts, paintings, and memorabilia. In 2014, SNAC, a Toronto-based design team, continued our exhibit expansion by working with us to develop and install professional interior exhibits for the reception area and farmhouse. 2 display cases handmade by George Vandermeer were added to the farmhouse exhibit areas, as well as 2 original oil paintings by Frederick Banting, provided on permanent loan by Jean and Fred Somerville. Parks Canada Heritage Plaque, held in safekeeping by the town, joined the 1975 cairn and other monuments at the roadside. A safety walkway was installed in 2014 inside the front boundary of the property to protect classes and families walking to the site from nearby schools and homes. New tables were added to the picnic area and new entrance signage designed by our foundation was installed. 2015 saw the further installation of additional outdoor exhibits once the Banting Legacy Walking Trail had been constructed. The trail was installed around the building envelope and linked to the safety walkway, and the gardens were upgraded and expanded. A memorial, engraved paver patio with flagpole were added, as were new trees along the trail. An exhibit assembled by Sir Frederick Banting Legacy Foundation Director Heidi Mackenzie in 2016, illustrating the driveshed recovery project, was added to the driveshed. Frames were created by adapting original windows rescued from the farmhouse. A large detailed diorama of the farmstead buildings circa 1900, crafted by Garnet Medill, a local farmer, and held in safekeeping by the museum on the Boyne, was placed in the driveshed in 2017. To add fun and interest to the school tours program and all visitors, outdoor exercise equipment was added to the trail as well. In 2018, percussion musical instruments were added to the picnic area. In 2020, new exhibits on the farmhouse second floor, plus an additional outdoor exhibit, were installed. Public access to the property includes the picnic area, the Legacy Walking Trail, and outdoor facilities, and is available from dawn to dusk 7 days a week. Historic buildings are accessible on a scheduled basis and by appointment. Thanks to the generosity of our donors and sustained property maintenance support from the town of New Tecumseth, The preservation of the historic buildings and site continue as a work in progress. Since opening the venue to the public in mid-2014, over 12,500 visitors from 10 provinces and territories, 26 U.S. states, and more than 40 countries have visited the site. The Sir Frederick Banting Legacy Foundation now operates 16 programs, for which the number of participant hours is approaching 40,000.